Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of El Supercast. With me today is Jim from the Oregon Trail Legend. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing quite well.
Good. I'm glad to finally be on.
Oh, yeah. It took,
Yeah.
a few months to finally get things right?
Few months, but we're finally doing it. And then after a few months, it took us we're at 33. We started figuring out this at 1
Yeah,
to figure out how I could hear you on Skype, but now we're good.
now we're good. Everything has coordinated together to make this work.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get right down to business. What are your
Okay.
favorite things about the Oregon Trail?
In the computer game or in real life?
Both.
Okay. Um, well, I think let's see. I mean, let's go back to when I first played it.
Hmm.
When because I was in third. Yeah, I was in third grade. So I liked how it was acquired. Because normally video games now, especially, are like you just go on Steam, you can get it instantly. But back then I got it from the Scholastic Book Fair, so there was like a few middlemen going on with it. But my mom got it for me at the Scholastic Book Fair, and I had played it a few times in a computer lab, but I clearly needed it at home. Like I clearly needed to play it more than a few times. So I liked that my mom surprised me with it, like ordered it from the Scholastic Book Fair. I think that's just a quintessentially 90s thing to do. And even though Oregon Trail started in the 70s, I think the best versions definitely came out in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
The Oregon Trail 2, for me, I think probably I'm going to assume for you as well, Oregon Trail 2 is your favorite version. But I got Oregon Trail version 1.2 first in third grade, and then in fourth grade, I got Oregon Trail 2.
Now, when you
And
say Oregon Trail version 1.2, is that the same 1.2 where they sing?
yes, that's the one where the end there's no singing until the end. Everything else is kind of computer animated sounds, but then at
Hmm.
the very end they sing Viva la Company, which apparently the makers of the game all sang together, which is so cute.
Yeah.
I wish I could have been there and like heard them do that together. But yeah, they sing at the very end, and I believe there's also sound bites of because in Oregon Trail Deluxe you can talk to all the people, but you just see the words on the screen. I think version 1.2 they have you can play it, and there's voice actors doing the voices.
Hmm.
Um, and there's about how many people can you talk to in version 1.2? Maybe like 20 or 30. There's like one at every landmark, and then there's a few generic ones. But then in Oregon Trail 2, they bump it up to 3.5 hours of audio content that you can listen to. 3.5 hours is crazy.
Yeah.
That's like a lot of stuff. So I guess my favorite, to get back to your question finally, after rambling on for 4 minutes. My favorite part about Oregon Trail is all the people you get to talk to along the way. I think is really cool,
Hmm.
especially in Oregon Trail 2, where there's just so many of them. You get the same characters, but they say so much stuff that you. I mean, I've been playing this game for what 17, 18 years now, and I will still run into people I have never talked to before. I'm like, what? I don't remember. I maybe you were there for this, but the Which Way is West kid is like one of the favorites of the game. There's just this kid on Oregon Trail 2, and he has one line, and it's Which Way is West?
Yeah.
But at one of the places, Ice Spring Slough, he says head west instead. And I figured that out about 2 months ago. And I've been playing this game for 18 years, and it's just like just the little things you find in this
Hmm.
game with talking to people. Um, There's specific people in because you can choose years in Oregon Trail 2. So there's specific years where if you don't choose that year that you started, if you don't start in 1849, you can't talk to someone because they won't be there yet. That's how crazy the programmers were at making this game historically accurate.
No, I enjoy it. The thing that threw me off was the first time that I saw you can catch fish. I was like, oh my God, I can
Oh,
catch fish. What the hell is
that
this?
was that was Oregon Trail 3, right?
No, it's in version 2.
Yeah. Okay, so I know what you're talking. I love talking to you because you know exactly what the hell you're talking about. Oregon Trail 2, you can catch fish, but there's no mini game. Oregon Trail 3, there's a mini game.
Yeah.
But Oregon Trail 2, yeah, if you buy, you have to go into the store. You have to get a ton of fishing nets, a ton of fishing rods, and fishing spears. So there's 3 things you can buy to fish. And it's not controlled automatically. Like, you can't go into some mini game. But if you buy all of those things, eventually it will pop up. A random event will pop up on the screen. You have caught fish. And yeah, when I first saw that, like the first time that ever happened to me, like in 4th grade, I was like, whoa, this is crazy that this happened. And then you can either release the fish or you can clean them for food.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a cool little option you can do that you can only do if you buy fishing spears, fishing nets, and fishing rods.
You know, I honestly don't know if I broke the world's record, but I like to think I did. That time where I mule flipped so much.
Oh my God, the mule flipping. What was the money you got to?
I believe it was like, man, it was a lot because I did it for like 3 hours.
Right. I think I've gotten up to 40K with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was probably in 6th grade, figured out how to do that. For those of you who don't know what mule flipping is, essentially, this is like some in-depth shit right now. We're really getting into this game. If you put skill set at trading and what's the other? It's trading. Oh, trading/commerce. That's what it's called. If you put it at that and you go into the game, you start trading with people and you look for either horses, grandfather clocks, or mules, or anything that's expensive. Did I say grandfather clocks?
You did.
Okay, good. I covered grandfather clocks. But you trade for anything expensive, and then you trade that, especially horses. And I don't know if you've done this or noticed this too, Ginyu, but when you get a horse, you can trade that horse for 3 mules.
Yeah, I have noticed that before.
So if you get 4, basically you could get 4 horses for maybe something around like $250. Let's say that seems like a reasonable thing that you could do with having the trading commerce skills. So you get those 4 horses, $250. You then trade, and you can trade them for an average of 3 mules each. So you then convert these 4 horses into 12 mules. Now you have 12 mules for $250.
Yeah.
And then you sell each mule for, you can get up to 100 or so for them. I usually, my cutoff, and I'd be interested to hear what your cutoff is. My cutoff is normally $60 because there's like a certain amount of time that I'll wait. Like, it's good to get 80 instead of 60. But if they have 60, I'm like, well, you know what? You're paying $15 more. So I guess it's $16 more for a mule than the price at the store. So yeah, I'll take it. Mm-hmm. But you essentially just do that until you have enough money. if you are Ginyu or I until you have like 40, 50K because you're weird and that's what you do with your time.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You want an absurd high score just to be there in perfect memory for all to see.
You're cutting out a little bit. I'm sorry. It might be my internet.
Oh, what I
Are you
was
there?
yeah, I'm there. Can
Oh,
you
cool. Okay, you're back. Sorry about that. You're cutting out a little bit.
So what I was saying before I cut out is that the high score, it's something that sets you apart from everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can you can do so much in the game to get that high score. Like being a teacher is the most important one because it multiplies the score by 5. Um, but I mean, any extra money you have count, and money is pretty minor in terms of that high score. Like it won't get you a lot of extra points, but after getting all your people there in good health, and after getting your score multiplied by 5 from being a teacher, there's not a whole lot more you can do. So most of the other points you score after that are chump change, but it does add up. So like
Oh yeah.
having that extra money will help get a higher score. And I don't actually know the exact. They do a clear way of calculating the amount of money and what that does to your final score. I can't remember exactly what that is, but you do get more points for final score. Oh, the other important thing is being a trail guide,
Yeah,
rather than a greenhorn or an adventure.
because
Because
you
when
get
you're a
more
trail guide,
bonuses.
you get what's that?
You get more bonuses and also $500.
It $500 is, I mean, and if you're not mule flipping, that $500 is a godsend. Like you're either gonna shop a bunch at Westport or one of those other cities that are kind of by Independence. Or if you're not starting off in Independence and you don't have those small towns, you're straight up turning around, heading back so you can get more stuff so you don't run out. Because if you're a teacher, I mean, you're maybe going to be able to buy a 3 to 4 month package deal from the merchant, and then like 6 oxen, and then you're pretty much done with your money.
Yeah.
So you gotta have that $500. If you're not mule flipping, that's how you beat the game pretty much with that. But you gotta go back. You gotta go back to get more supplies because I guess maybe 4 months would be, you'd be pushing it. If you did a 12-hour day, 12 plus hour grueling pace day, you would still be pushing 4 months
All
with
right.
that pace.
You know the rare event that happens, the thunderbolt kills an oxen.
Yes, I've had that. I think I've had that happen twice. What do you? Yeah, I'm interested as to what you think about that. Yeah.
Well, it's an oddity. The fact that there's no picture and
What's that?
it's an oddity. That's what I think.
There's no picture. It's so weird. It's just kind of a box that comes up that's like your ox has been struck by lightning. There's no option. There's
Nope.
no picture. There's no getting advice. You just have to kind of go, all right then. I would love to hear the advice from that. Like that would have been great if they included like get advice, just because there's a lot of events that happen where there's only one option, but you can still get advice. Like, for instance, when you tip your wagon over, the only option really get it back up and keep crossing the river. But you can get advice, and the advice is just like, well, we shouldn't have done that.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I would have loved
All right.
which, of course, you hear that advice and you go, well, yeah, no, duh, but what else do you have to offer? But it would be funny to hear advice for, like, your ox getting struck by lightning.
Yeah.
Just like, how did that happen?
Well, we're out of time, so thank you for coming out.